Hi there. So this is a one-time video, meaning that I'm not going to really talk about this other than this video, because this is something that I've never publicly spoken about on my YouTube channel. Of all my over 1,300 videos, I've never made a video talking about kink or fetishes. I've mentioned it, but I've never actually talked about it in a full video like this one. Mainly because when it comes to my personal preferences, my personal kinks, my personal fetishes, whatever you want to call them, I'm very private about that stuff, as I think most people should be. However, as of recent, as in like the last 2 weeks, I have started selling photos of myself in regards to my feet. And I get a lot of judgment for it, I get a lot of laughs, and I get a lot of people who roll their eyes at me. And I've been being heavily, in a way, condemned. Not that I care, but I want to just talk about this. I'm not making this video because I care. I'm making this video because I want to talk about it so maybe it can give you a better understanding for why I'm doing it. So I recently started selling foot photos. I'm also selling pairs of dirty socks that I will wear for a week. And I'm selling my underwear. And I have no, I mean this, I have no shame in it. I'm not embarrassed by it. Because to me, it's harmless. To me, I don't see any issue. I'm not putting myself nude out there, and even if I did, there would be nothing wrong with that. But like, I want kids one day, and I don't want them to search up my name and find out and see dick pictures and sexual videos of me jacking off or me being nude. I just don't want my kids to see that, and I don't want that on the internet at all. That should be something that is privately sent to my significant other, or the person I'm marrying, or my wife. Very private when it comes to that stuff. However, when it comes to feet, specifically the foot fetish community, there is a very, very big fetish and kink for feet. I always knew it existed, I just didn't know it existed to this extent to where there are a lot of people, and I'm not saying this about myself, I'm saying this from what they've sent me in terms of my email, that find me attractive. And they get turned on with the fact that they find me attractive and that I have nice feet. I have nice soles. Whatever the fuck that means, you foot fetish people, you know what that means. But this all started as an inside joke because one of my old vlogs I did several years back, someone tweeted me and said, "Oh my gosh, Daniel, you're on a porn website." I'm like, "What? A porn website? Well, I've never done any porn, so that doesn't make any sense." But I went to the link and I found out that somebody took like really blurry snippets and clips of a vlog I did where my feet are in the video and put it on a foot fetish website, and there was a lot of positive feedback of people expressing that they really liked my feet. So I went on with a running joke that, okay, I'm going to start selling foot photos. And then I got a client, someone who sent me an email saying, "Well, will you actually sell me custom foot photos?" I'm like, thought about it, I'm like, why not? Why not take a photo of my feet and get paid to do it? What's the harm in that? It's not hurting anybody. I'm not bothered at all with someone sexually looking at my feet and fapping to it. Doesn't bother me in the least, because, again, it's my feet. I don't find feet inherently sexual. It's not a kink of mine, but I know other people do. And if other people can get satisfaction off a part of my body that inherently I don't find sexual, such as my feet, what's the harm in that? It's almost as if I feel like a large portion of people get upset. And they have, because I've already seen people tweet me and message me and email me saying that they're very disappointed that I would sell personal photos of my feet and make money off of that. And I've been already compared to being a slut and a prostitute for selling photos of my feet, which is fine. If you think that, that's by all means, it doesn't bother me in any way. I just find it humorous that you really are so narrow-minded within people's personal fetish or kinks that you have to condemn somebody who may be successful in one area that you're not. Maybe you have really ugly, snaggly, ugly feet. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people like to hate and condemn and judge people who are successful in a way that they are not. It's almost like my success to make money on my feet is a personal failure of theirs because they can't make money on their feet, or they're not maybe able to bring in $50 or $100 for a 5-minute custom video, you know? Because this week I filmed a 5-minute custom video for a client of me just sitting in front of the camera, and I have both my feet clean. They wanted my clean feet. I'm just rubbing my feet together and putting my feet in different angles, and they paid me $100. Another person paid me over $100, and I was like, I only charge $100, but he paid me extra. I got a $100 Amazon gift card from another person. And there's also a lot of people mad at me saying that my rates are too high, that no one will ever pay that amount for my feet or photos or socks or whatever. And I would say usually you're right, but I've already had people pay that rate, so if people are willing to pay that amount for my feet, pictures, video, whatever, do even a personalized Skype call, I'm not going to change it. Like, if I wasn't making money through it, I would change it, but I am because I've had people pay that amount. I don't know why it's a threat to you what my rates are. Maybe they're overpriced, maybe they aren't, I don't know, but I know people are willing to pay for that amount for my feet, so I don't understand how it affects you in any way. But you also have to understand that I also have a following, okay? I have over 50,000 followers on Twitter. I have over 500,000 followers on subscribers on YouTube. My views fluctuate. Sometimes I get 100,000 people viewing my videos. Sometimes I get 50,000 people. That's still a lot of people. If I was a nobody, if I was just some random guy on the internet posting foot pictures, I can understand charging less. But because I'm a YouTuber, because people know who I am, I can charge higher. And I don't see an issue with that. But I don't find any fundamental problem with posting my feet for people who want to pay me. And I think that if somebody does find an issue with it, you should really re-examine your priorities in life, why you're coming to me, getting mad at me, because you're wasting a lot of your mental energy and your time ranting to me about how I'm making money off my feet, and that's a bad thing. No, it's not. I've always considered myself an entrepreneur. My parents instilled in me a very good work ethic when I was very young. I started at 15 years old doing landscaping for $12 an hour. I was 15. Okay? And, like, I've always managed, even if it's not a whole lot of money coming in, I've always managed to make money in places where people wouldn't expect. People still, and it's funny because people could still, whether this is feet or whether this is a sponsor on YouTube, it doesn't affect you personally. So I don't understand why people get so angry at me when I make money. Because as you well know, YouTube ads are horrible. This month, out of all my views, almost 2-3 million views over this entire month, I've made less than $500. Less than $500. And there was a point on YouTube where I was making almost $4,000 a month. I know I'm not technically supposed to say that, but whatever, I don't give a shit. YouTube's fucked me in the ass enough, so I don't really care. And I've went from almost making $4,000 a month for the past few years to less than $500 a month. That's a big chunk of change that's now missing from YouTube, and I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to bitch about it. I'm not going to say, boo-hoo, YouTube hates me, blah, blah, blah. I'm preparing for that. That's why I've switched to Patreon. I have people support me on Patreon, and every person who supports me on Patreon, thank you so much for that. But if I can make extra money through selling foot photos, video, I don't see an issue with that. And I think it's really narrow-minded for someone to condemn a kink, a fetish, that doesn't harm anyone. Doesn't harm anybody. Let people do and make their money as they see fit. Whether you don't have to approve of their lifestyle, but you definitely don't have to go out of your way to try to make them feel less of a person because they're doing something that you may not agree with. And that's the thing, you don't make people who hate on me for selling foot photos, it doesn't bother me, but it does irritate me to the point where I wanted to make a video about the kink community, because the kink community is really, really big. Getting sexual pleasure from something, if it's consensual or you're paying for it and somebody wants to send you something for money, what is wrong with that? Like, can you find an actual ethical or moral reason to why that is wrong? In my particular case, feet. And as I've said before, I'm never gonna fucking do nude videos of me whipping out my dick and, jacking off at the camera and stuff. I'm not gonna do that because, again, I want children. And I mean that. I want to be a dad. I want to have kids by when I'm 35. That's in 10 years. And I don't want them to see that sort of shit on the internet of me. That's what it boils down to. But anyways, if you're interested in my feet, again, this is a one-time video that I'm even talking about this type of stuff. I'm not going to publicize my feet constantly. But these are my rates right here. If you're interested in some custom stuff from me, feel free to email me. My email is linked down in the description of every single one of my videos. I'm also now, for the future reference, going to have my rate chart linked down below in my description, so you can always have it there, so you won't see me referencing it in videos that much more. I cannot speak today. But yeah, this video is basically just me bringing awareness to the issue that, yes, I'm selling foot photos. If you're interested, let me know. People who don't like me doing that, fuck off, unsubscribe from me. I don't give a shit. I'm making money off something that I enjoy doing, and it's easy to do, and you can do it too. People gotta do what they gotta do to make their money, and I choose my personal way to sell videos and pictures of my sexy feet.